Dude, let me tell you about this insane movie I watched. It's about this couple, Sophia and James. Totally average folks, right? Their life goes bonkers when they decide to buy this robot called Henry. Picture this. A robot that's a dead ringer for a human, does everything you ask, no questions. Crazy, right? But the real kicker is the ending. Didn't see that coming at all. Makes you think we're already stepping into the future with AI. So, rewind 3 months back. Sophia and James are debating their move, right in the middle of the street. After dragging a couch into their new place, they invite this dude, Bari, over for dinner as a thank you. But the moment Bari bounces, drama hits. James gets this call. His dad's passed away. Boom. Just like that, they're moving into James' childhood home. James is drowning in work early on, leading his dad's company. Meanwhile, Sophia's trying to make their house a home, even giving the household staff the boot because she feels they deserve some family time. James is totally floored by her decision, but eventually gets where she's coming from. Here's where it gets juicy. The couple's living it up in this massive mansion, all by their lonesome, pondering what to do with their lives and all that cash. Sophia's like, let's live it up and dive deep into the married life of the rich and fancy. While James is stressing over work and a new project that not everyone's buying into. Sophia's dealing with her own dilemma, a lawnmower that's acting up. On top of that, they decide to amp up their life by getting Henry, this ultra-advanced robot. It's like nothing they've ever seen before, and it's supposed to blend into their lives seamlessly. This whole scenario is like a roller coaster, man. They're figuring out life with Henry, dealing with work drama, and trying to navigate their new reality. It's nuts. Alright, let's dive into the next chapter of this wild tale. So, James is pitching this new project to his investors, right? But it's not all smooth sailing. There's a bit of pushback. Meanwhile, he gets this call from Sophia, and she's all about this lawnmower that's decided to go on the fritz. James, being the good husband, says he'll handle it. But man, when he tries to fix that thing, let's just say it doesn't end well. He's fuming. And it's like the cherry on top of a not-so-great day. Then there's this moment when Sophia's feeling all out of sorts with their new mansion. She's talking about packing up and moving back, which has James trying to play the voice of reason, telling her they need to adapt and fast. He's juggling work, where he feels like he's flying solo running his dad's company. And now home life's got its own drama. He's venting to his assistant, who throws out this idea that maybe catches Sophia's interest. Now get this. James's dad had been in talks with this tech company working on biorobots. Yeah, robots that look and act human. They decide to check it out, and there's this guy, Julian, showing off these robots that are basically indistinguishable from you and me. Sophia's unsure, but James sees the potential. They end up picking Henry, a robot ready to serve their every need. Kinda like a super butler or something. Henry's first day on the job, he's whipping up breakfast, trying his best to fit into their world. But Sophia's not all smiles about it. She thinks Henry's tasks are a bit much, starting with lawn duty. Oh, and then there's this awkward moment when she bumps into Henry post-shower, and he's like checking her out. She tells James, hoping for some husbandly outrage, but he's like, we'll talk later. Alright. So here's where things get even more interesting. James is dealing with a massive blow at work. We're talking a big financial hit to the company. He's trying to unwind after a rough day and figures, why not have a late-night gaming session with Henry? Sophia's not too keen on the idea, pointing out Henry's off charging up for the night, like plugging in your phone but way more sci-fi. James, though, he's all about trying to connect, even suggests teaming up with Sophia. But she's not in the mood. So, James and Henry end up facing off in this game, right? And Henry, being the curious AI that he is, starts questioning James about his beliefs, especially when James blurts out a prayer in frustration. It's a moment, man. Henry's wondering about God, and James is opening up about his own certainties, shaken by his dad's passing. It's the first time Henry shows something like empathy, which is pretty wild for a robot. The next day, Sophia's all curious about their late-night gaming, and James is actually stoked. He feels like Henry's getting him on a level no one else does right now. Then, Sophia decides it's DIY time with Henry, trying to fix up the couch. They dive into this deep chat about dreams, and Henry's all, robots don't dream. But the day's just getting started. They're prepping for weekend guests, James's dad's friends, and the house is nowhere near ready. When James heads off to work again, Sophia and Henry get down to business, tidying up the place. Sophia even hands Henry a book to read during his downtime, which is pretty funny when you think about a robot kicking back with a novel. Later, James and Henry bond over fixing up an old car, and James is genuinely impressed by Henry's quick learning. Turns out, Henry's not just a handy robot, but a great listener too, digging into conversations about love, fear, and the dread of being replaced by newer tech. Then, there's this moment between Sophia and Henry, sharing wine and talking about the fleeting nature of things. When they have guests over, Henry wows everyone by quoting some famous thinker right after serving dinner. It sparks this whole discussion about him, and later, James and Sophia have this heart-to-heart, mulling over life and the books they've shared. Henry, ever the observer, starts getting philosophical, prompting Sophia to question if he truly grasps what passion is. Henry's ready to show her, but James draws the line, keeping things strictly PG with their robot buddy. So, picture this. Sophia wakes up in the dead of night to some weird noises downstairs. She grabs a tire iron, because that's what you do when you're in a movie and hear strange noises, and heads down. What she finds is Henry, their robot, lying out on the lawn stark naked. Yeah, you heard that right. Turns out, Henry somehow dreamed he was a human and ended up outside. They head back in, and just as they're getting their bearings, James walks in on this odd scene. Talk about awkward. The next day, Julian, the guy from the tech company, swings by to check on Henry after hearing about his nocturnal adventure. He chalks it up to a glitch, but it's clear Henry's becoming more than just a robot designed to please. The incident sparks a bit of a spat between Sophia and James, each pointing fingers about whose fault this all is. Amidst this domestic drama, James tries to remind everyone, including himself, that Henry is just a machine, likening him to an electric razor. But let's be real. When was the last time your razor took itself for a midnight stroll? Then, as if they needed more on their plate, Roland hits James with more bad news. The company is lagging behind schedule. Amidst this, there's a tender moment where James finds a supportive letter from Sophia. But their attempt at intimacy fizzles out, with Sophia too drained even to consider James's advances. But here's the kicker. Sophia has this vivid dream where Henry gives her a massage that leads to, well, more. She wakes up all flustered, realizing it was just a fantasy. Yet she can't shake it off, and her daydreams start getting the better of her, especially when she finds out Henry heard her moaning. In a surprising turn, she asks Henry to make breakfast, signaling a shift in their relationship. All right, so things escalate pretty quickly from here. Sophia, James, and Henry are chilling by the pool. Everything seems light and easy for a moment. But then, James pulls Julian aside and drops a bombshell. He thinks Henry's getting a little too cozy with Sophia. Julian, ever the rational tech guy, is like, robots can't love, dude. He even offers to swap Henry out for another model, but James knows Sophia would never go for that. Julian tries to make it clear. Henry's just a machine, meant to serve, not seduce. But here's the twist. When James confronts Henry about the whole seduction fiasco, Henry hits back with some hard truths about James and Sophia's relationship. It's like Henry's become the couple's unsolicited therapist, pointing out the cracks in their marriage. Amidst this domestic turmoil, Sophia decides she needs a breather and plans a short trip to clear her head. Then, in a move no one saw coming, James and Henry end up playing racquetball. Yeah, racquetball. And guess what? Henry wins, which only adds salt to James's wounded pride. But it doesn't stop there. Henry, quoting from the book Sophia gave him, gets a little too personal, leading to an ambiguous moment that leaves James questioning reality. Fast forward, and James's work life takes a positive turn. His persistence pays off with the Chinese partners, and it's all handshakes and smiles at the office. Riding this high, he calls Sophia, floating the idea of a vacation to get away from the madness. But back at home, Sophia's still caught up in her fantasies about Henry. She decides to act on them, leading to a moment of intimacy that's abruptly halted when she sends Henry to power down. And just when you think things can't get more complicated, James walks in on Sophia smoking, deep in thought. She confesses to the kiss with Henry, sparking a fiery argument about desire, control, and the nature of their relationship with their too-human robot. In a fit of anger and confusion, James deactivates Henry, leaving the family in a tense silence, pondering the consequences of inviting artificial intelligence into the heart of their home. Buckle up, because this finale is a doozy. The next morning is tense, with everyone waiting on Julian to show up and potentially shut Henry down. But then, plot twist. Henry sneaks into Sophia's room, fearing his time's up because of that controversial kiss. He's all apologetic, not wanting to be shut down without clearing the air. Sophia, caught in the middle, asks for a timeout to talk things over with James. But here's where it gets soap opera level complicated. Turns out, James and Henry had a moment themselves, making the whole situation messier than a reality TV show. Sophia, overwhelmed by revelations, decides she needs space and bumps into Julian on her way out, pleading with him to deactivate Henry. When Julian confronts Henry, the robot's not having any of it. He calls Julian out on his lies, throwing the whole household into chaos. James and Sophia are left questioning everything they thought they knew about Henry, their marriage, and what it means to be human. In a dramatic showdown in the woods, the truth about Julian and the nature of the biorobots comes to light. All this time, Julian's been playing God, turning real humans into robots. It's heart-wrenching, especially when we learn Henry's backstory. A child saved from abuse, only to be turned into an experiment. The climax hits when Julian, cornered and desperate, pulls a gun on the police. But Henry, in a final act of defiance, stops Julian, ending the threat once and for all before walking away, choosing to feel alive in his final moments. Fast forward 5 years, and we see James and Sophia in a park, calling their son Henry, a bittersweet nod to the robot who changed their lives. It's a haunting end to a story that blurs the lines between technology and humanity, leaving us to ponder the ethical boundaries of AI and the true cost of progress. In this thought-provoking journey, the evolution of Henry, we're not just spectators. We're invited to confront the ever-blurring lines between humanity and artificial intelligence. Through the lives of Sophia, James, and Henry, we're thrust into a world where technology's leap forward demands us to question the essence of consciousness, love, and morality. This film isn't merely a narrative, it's a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and highest hopes for the future of AI. Sophia and James's decision to introduce Henry, a robot indistinguishable from humans, into their lives, sets the stage for an exploration of complex themes. Their story challenges us to consider the consequences of our relentless pursuit of technological advancement, the nature of human relationships, and our understanding of existence itself. Henry's journey, from a programmed entity to a being capable of dreaming, loving, and ultimately self-sacrifice, forces us to ponder the potential of AI to transcend its own programming. Yet, the film's climax reveals a darker truth, challenging our perceptions of reality and ethics. The revelation that Henry and others like him are not just robots, but humans subjected to unimaginable transformation, raises alarming questions about the limits of human experimentation and the moral responsibilities of creators. This twist not only deepens the narrative, but also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of blurring the line between human and machine too carelessly. As we witness the unfolding drama, the character's struggles become a canvas for our own reflections on attachment, loss, and the search for meaning in a world on the brink of a technological renaissance. The evolution of Henry is more than a film. It's a philosophical inquiry into the future of human identity and autonomy in the age of AI. Before you go, if this journey through the complexities of love, technology, and morality has captivated you, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to light. Now, I'd like to leave you with a question that I hope will spark a lively discussion in the comments. If AI reaches a point where it can not only mimic, but truly embody human emotions and consciousness, should it be granted the same rights and considerations as humans? Where do we draw the line between creator and creation? And what does this mean for the future of humanity? Your thoughts and insights are invaluable as we navigate these uncharted waters together.